Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more Los Angeles Lakers news, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. In order to get a top-level player who can become a regular starter and the Lakers can return to their best days and become favorites again, it will be necessary to give up some players. Trade proposal: Lakers send Rui Hachimura, Dalton Knecht, Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber to the Utah Jazz in exchange for Lauri Markkanen. The Los Angeles Lakers have a critical summer ahead of them. There will be a ton on the Lakers' plate, and as the NBA season winds down, they will be at the forefront of the offseason. More Lakers news: Lakers could miss out on star center. The Lakers are a polarizing team, and as always, they are projected to make a significant move to bolster their roster. That will be no different this offseason, as they could be in line to trade for a star big man. It is clear that the Lakers need to bolster their frontcourt, particularly at the center position. LA lacked a solid center after it traded Anthony Davis to the Dallas Mavericks in exchange for Luka Doncic. While the trade helps them in the long run, it certainly hurts them in the short term. That was evident in the playoffs, but with the season over and the offseason ahead, the Lakers could make a massive trade. In this hypothetical scenario laid out by NBA writer Greg Swartz of Bleacher Report, the Lakers managed to acquire all-star forward Lauri Markkanen from the Utah Jazz. Here's how the proposed deal is structured. Los Angeles Lakers receive F. Lauri Markkanen. Utah Jazz receive F. Rui Hachimura, G/F. Dalton Knecht, PG Gabe Vincent, F. Maxi Kleber, 2031 first-round pick, unprotected. The Lakers will always be on the hunt for stars, yet are limited in trade assets after acquiring Luka Doncic at the deadline. Markkanen is probably the best level of player Los Angeles can reasonably acquire and would be a strong third option behind Doncic and LeBron James. Adding a 7-footer who can play either forward position and fill short bursts as a stretch 5 gives the Lakers a ton of versatility with their lineups and helps an offense that ranked 12th out of 16 teams this postseason. In the scenario, the Lakers lose 4 key players, but it only costs them one of their 2 first-round picks available for trade. The first-round pick in this scenario is the 2031 pick, the only one that the Charlotte Hornets offered for Mark Williams before that deal was rescinded. It is a hefty price still, however. Markkanen could be a player who helps the Lakers on both sides of the ball. While his durability is a question mark, having not played over 60 games in the past 2 seasons. Nevertheless, there is no denying his talent, as evidenced by his career scoring average of 18.2 points per game. Markkanen could be the piece to take the Lakers to the next level, and this trade would open up the books for the Lakers to get creative in free agency. Lakers face pressure to make big moves around Luka Doncic. The Los Angeles Lakers made a massive move when they added star Luka Doncic ahead of the NBA trade deadline, and one insider believes they will need more moves to keep Doncic happy with the direction of the franchise. The Athletic's Jovan Buha said he expects the Lakers to make some big additions this summer before Doncic's extension date, saying the team is facing pressure to show their commitment to building a contender. Buha noted that Doncic was coming off an NBA Finals appearance with the Dallas Mavericks last season, but this year had an early playoff exit as the Lakers were upset by the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round. That gives the Lakers more urgency to bolster their roster and express their commitment to the future, he said. The Luka factor and the fact that Luka's extension date is a month into free agency, that's something that, if you're the Lakers, there should be some level of urgency, some level of pressure to find the center of the future or to at least upgrade the roster enough to appease Luka, Buha said. Buha added that the Lakers aren't close to filling out a roster as complete as the Oklahoma City Thunder, but will still make moves with urgency to build a team that can contend for titles now and through the immediate future. Los Angeles Lakers stars Luka Doncic, 77, and LeBron James, 23. Screen capture with Doncic having control over whether he signs the contract extension, the Lakers will face pressure to prove that they are serious about building around him, Buha said. I think there is still an element of urgency and pressure with the Lakers and how they build this roster this summer, Buha said. You also have LeBron James, who's going to be 41, and you're 23. So you still have potential only a 1 to 2 year window with this core with Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves, so you have to try to maximize that. Lakers' Luka Doncic shows off insane workout amid conditioning controversies. Los Angeles Lakers superstar Luka Doncic is one of the best players in the world today. There is no denying his skills, talent, and ability to make others better. There is a reason why he is arguably one of the top 3 players in the world and consistently in the running for MVP year after year. While that is the case, there are some serious concerns about his conditioning and ability to stay in shape. That is one of the biggest reasons why the Dallas Mavericks gave up on him prior to the trade deadline this past season. The Mavericks weren't convinced that he could be the type of player to lead them to the next level, despite having led them to the NBA Finals the previous season. However, thus far, it appears that Doncic is doing what he can to silence the haters. Doncic posted this insane workout video of himself on social media. Watch as Doncic is doing this insane leg workout as he prepares for the upcoming season. Luka in the gym. Doncic is doing what he can to silence the doubters, and thus far, it appears to be working. A video from a few weeks ago showed Doncic appearing slightly slimmer while attending a Real Madrid basketball game. There was word that he would be starting an intense new conditioning plan, and it appears that Doncic is following it to a T. Doncic's conditioning and his commitment to keeping in shape has been a hot topic ever since the February trade to the Lakers. That discussion intensified even more after Los Angeles's early playoff exit. The Mavericks doubted Doncic's commitment to staying healthy within their organization. But one team's loss is another's gain, and that's exactly how the Lakers see it. Come early August, Doncic becomes eligible for a massive contract extension with Los Angeles. The 26-year-old can lock in a 4-year, $229 million deal. It's not if he'll sign, but rather what kind of contract he ultimately agrees to that remains the real question. Doncic is loyal to the Lakers, and LA hoped that'd be the case. However, before the Lakers can sign him long-term, they'll first need to show him that they can build a perfect roster around him with free agency and the offseason looming. NBA Insider shares latest Lakers trade rumors and news. Lakers insider Jovan Buha speaks on the Lakers' rumored targets and how Luka Doncic will influence their offseason. The Los Angeles Lakers were eliminated in the first round of the 2025 NBA playoffs by the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they are expected to be busy making moves this offseason. The Athletic's Jovan Buha spoke on some of the rumored targets and more in a Q&A recently. On Walker Kessler. The Lakers have been linked with Utah Jazz center Walker Kessler over the last couple of years. The Jazz had been reluctant to part with Kessler, but it was reported that he could be available this offseason. Buha doesn't believe a move to the Lakers is likely, though. The issue with Walker Kessler and with Utah, in general, is their asking prices tend to be higher, Buha said. To trade a Lauri Markkanen, or to trade a Walker, it is going to be a high price. Going back to last season, I reported that the Lakers had had interest in Walker previously, Buha continued. They had inquired about him to the Jazz, and the feedback they got was the starting price, not the final price, but the starting price was the equivalent of 2+ first-round picks. Buha does not believe the Lakers have the assets to acquire Kessler, who averaged 11.1 points, 12.2 rebounds, 1.7 assists, 0.6 steals, and 2.4 blocks per game in 2024-25. On Lakers' level of activity this offseason and Luka Doncic. This isn't the first offseason where it has seemed like the Lakers have to make some moves in order to elevate their standing in the West. They have stood pat despite being in that position in the past, but Buha doesn't expect that to be the case this time around because of Luka Doncic. I am optimistic that the Lakers do something this summer, Buha said. The biggest decisions for the Lakers this upcoming offseason is the Luka factor and the fact that his extension date is a month into free agency. If you're the Lakers, there should be some level of urgency, some level of pressure to find that center of the future or to at least upgrade the roster enough to appease Luka, Buha continued. And to show him similar to your intention with the Mark Williams trade. Buha expects Doncic to sign an extension with the Lakers this offseason, but adds that it doesn't mean the team can just sit back and relax. He thinks the front office will be aggressive and the Slovenian will sign the extension in early August. On the topic of the Lakers needing a big, another Lakers insider, Kobe Price, listed out 5 realistic center targets for the team. It will be interesting to see if they get any of them. Underscore 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 underscore. On Chris Paul. The Lakers famously failed to acquire Chris Paul in 2011, but they could finally get him in 2025. Paul recently hinted at a desire to play in Los Angeles so that he could be with his family, and Buha reckons he could sign with the Lakers. The breadcrumbs are suggesting that he is likely going to try to come back to LA, either play for the Lakers or the Clippers, Buha said. He's been on the Lakers' radar for the last 2 years, and we know about the banana boat and his relationship with LeBron James. Paul averaged 8.8 points, 3.6 rebounds, 7.4 assists, 1.3 steals, and 0.3 blocks per game for the San Antonio Spurs in 2024-25. He could be a solid backup option to have for the Lakers. Underscore 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 underscore. On Lonzo Ball. Another guard the Lakers have been linked with is Lonzo Ball. The Lakers, of course, drafted Ball with the 2nd pick of the 2017 NBA draft and then traded him as part of the package for Anthony Davis in 2019. There have been murmurs of a reunion since the guard finally returned from injury this season, and Buha thinks it could happen. I think they would be, Buha said. It's just a matter of what his price is, and you have to factor in the health and the history there of just you can't even pencil him in for 60 games. Ball missed the entire 2022-23 and 2023-24 campaigns with injury. He has managed to play over 60 games in a single season just once in his career, and there is a risk involved here. Ball averaged 7.6 points, 3.4 rebounds, 3.3 assists, 1.3 steals, and 0.5 blocks per game for the Chicago Bulls in 2024-25. He has shown flashes of his former self, and time will tell if the Lakers think he's worth the risk. These players would help the Lakers in varying degrees. If they want to go all out, though, we put together a mock trade that would see them acquire Kevin Durant and solve their big man issues. It would be a very bold move, but it could turn the Lakers into a force. Lakers' Rui Hachimura turns heads with NBA offseason move. The Los Angeles Lakers leaned heavily on Rui Hachimura throughout the regular season, as he averaged 13.1 points and 5.0 rebounds per game, shooting 50.9% from the field over 68 appearances. Known for his efficient scoring and perimeter shooting ability, Hachimura emerged as a key starting player next to superstars LeBron James and Luka Doncic. In the first round of the playoffs against Minnesota, Hachimura maintained his productivity, averaging 14.8 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 1 assist in 36.4 minutes per game across 5 contests. He delivered 2 standout 23-point performances in Games 4 and 5. However, the Lakers could not get past the Timberwolves, and now face questions in the NBA offseason. Despite being one of the few bright spots for LA in the playoffs, speculation has grown about Hachimura's future in Los Angeles. With the team exploring roster changes, particularly to add interior rebounding, the 6'8" forward's expiring contract makes him a trade candidate. Amid this speculation, Hachimura shared an Instagram carousel documenting his time in Cuba, including a photo of him playing basketball with locals. The forward's off-season activity drew several fan reactions on social media. "Rui everywhere," one fan wrote. "Damn, Rui still looking for a center, I see," another fan posted. "He can chill there until he learns how to rebound at 6 feet 8 inches, a third fan added. "Looking for a center, huh?" another fan echoed. "Cuba is amazing, Cuba, I love this place," said another. "Bro's making a world tour," said another. The NBA Finals are showing the Lakers have a lot of work to do. The NBA Finals are the highest level of basketball and, so far, it has shown how far away the Lakers are and what changes are needed this summer. We've reached the middle of June, when 28 teams all sit at home and watch the final two battle for the Larry O'Brien Trophy in the NBA Finals. The Lakers, who were sent on their Cancun flight before even the start of May, have a long summer of introspection and comparison. There are no better teams than the Pacers and Thunder to use as a benchmark. The teams with the best records in the league since January 1st have highlighted in their series the significant areas of their roster and style where the Lakers were lacking, as well as the changes they'd be best served to implement for next season. It all begins with size. The playoffs and LA's season have driven the point home, but it once again stands out in the heavy blue and white screen set in Oklahoma City. Miles Turner, Chet Holmgren, and Isaiah Hartenstein are all legitimate bigs who play vital roles on their respective teams. They offer counters against the complex defensive game plans and act as release valves for the superstar guards against tough point-of-attack players. The Thunder and the Pacers not only hunt mismatches, but also punish you with decisive decisions. Watch below as Lou Dort gets hung up on a ball screen by Turner, forcing a switch. Once the switch is established, an immediate seal and post-up ensues. Turner converts the layup inside off the Tyrese Haliburton assist. Both Haliburton and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, as superstar guards, heavily rely on bigs as wide-body screeners to open them up on the offensive end. These bigs not only give support as ball screen pairings on offense, but serve as rim protectors to erase mistakes on the perimeter. LA, in comparison, entered the playoffs with one playable big in lob threat Jackson Hayes, and immediately abandoned him once the team encountered any resistance. This lack of a big man burned the team in the first round. LA needs a center this offseason, as everyone has acknowledged, and the finals have only served to emphasize it. One disturbing trend during the Lakers-Wolves series was not only the lack of defensive personnel but the ease with which they handed out switches to the opposing team. That is a striking difference from the two teams in the finals, who make you earn every bit of real estate against a hunted mismatch. The finals are full of aggressive wings and guards to throw on apex predator ball handlers. Alex Caruso, Aaron Nesmith, and Andrew Nembhard are a few names that all fight tooth and nail to stick with their man. Watch below as Nembhard chases Gilgeous-Alexander, refusing to get picked off by Holmgren. Nembhard chases over the screen in the above play and gives solid back pressure to force a pass to Dort, who misses inside. Both teams have a high athletic floor around their star guard with great motor on defense. The Lakers face challenges in achieving defensive success on the perimeter due to their roster's lack of foot speed and the absence of wing stoppers to match up against the opposing team's best defensive player. With the exit of Max Christie in the Doncic trade, head coach J.J. Redick turned to players like Jordan Goodwin, fresh off converting from a two-way contract, to contribute as a defensive wing. The finals have shown that the best teams invest heavily in high-level defensive personnel. In addition to excellent personnel, these teams play at a high pace. It's non-stop ball movement and offensive attacks. According to the NBA's tracking data, the Thunder and Pacers are two of the top three teams in the playoffs in pace, whereas the Lakers ranked second to last. Watch below, even after a made basket on one end, the Pacers push it up the floor to respond quickly. In the above play, Haliburton quickly gets the ball across half court, finding Nesmith in the corner for three with 16 still on the shot clock. Both teams push the basketball exceptionally well, giving the defense zero time to settle in. LA's offense many possessions wouldn't even get into an action until 10 seconds on the shot clock. A team led by Doncic and LeBron James will always play with a methodical style. However, this approach can result in a stagnant and predictable offense. The teams in the finals have demonstrated how playing with pace can create easier advantages, as set defenses continue to improve and grow more complex. Finally, both of these teams are deep and extend far into their bench. The Pacers have 10 players averaging at least 9.8 minutes per game in the finals, while the Thunder have 9 above 8.8. Both coaches are more than willing to try out and experiment with different matchups, looking for an edge anywhere they can find it. Players like Thomas Bryant and Isaiah Joe, who don't perfectly fit the mold of two-way players, have carved out roles based on their specific abilities. LA hopes to find similar production from players like Dalton Knecht, who were completely removed from their rotation and opportunities in the playoffs. The Lakers won 50 games last year for the first time since the 2019-2020 season and added a generational offensive player in Doncic at the deadline. With that being said, the finals have demonstrated they have a long road ahead to building and playing like a team ready to contend at the highest level.